Aloha, all my paranormal people, and mahalo for joining me once again on this exciting episode of Insane Disappearances. I just love saying that word, get headed at the same time, knowing what you gotta read. Boy. Alright, I'm going to read a case about a 26-year-old man named Godfrey Wondrosek. Wondrosek. Okay, Godfrey went missing on 04/26/33 between Camp 7 and Half Dome in Yosemite National Park in California. Um, like I said before, he was 26 when he disappeared. Okay, Godfrey Wondrosek and his sister Josephine made a trip to Yosemite from Chicago on April 26th. Godfrey told his sister he was going to hike towards Half Dome. That was the last time Josephine saw her brother. She reported him missing that night, and a search immediately started. For people who have never hiked to the top of Half Dome, it is treacherous. There is a rope and cable that climbers use to make it to the summit. During the off season, the rope and cable are taken down to ensure people don't try to climb. It is essential. It is essentially a very steep hike up the slippery granite wall. You don't need to be an experienced climber to hike Half Dome, but you do need the right shoes to be in reasonably good shape. And be in reasonably good shape. The cables and ropes to the top of Half Dome were not available on the April 26th, as there was still snow near the summit. Rangers still made the climb to the summit under the belief that Godfrey may have made the attempt. At the summit, they stated they climbed. They stated they found footprints. They also stated that they found some footprints on the trail at the bottom at the bottom and others near the summit. Uh, though some looked old, they said there was no way Godfrey could have made the summit before dark, as this would have made his climb down extremely treacherous. Rangers also noted that other tracks were found in the area of the summit, but they didn't guess how old those were. Rangers inside the park stated that making it to the summit of Half Dome without cables was possible for an experienced climber, but it was very treacherous. There are no indications in anything I read that Godfrey was an experienced mountain climber or had climbing tools or equipment. The Park Service enlisted the aid of employees and American Indian trackers, in an effort to find Godfrey. According to reports, the searchers dealt with continuous rain and snow during their search. They found nothing. Park officials theorized that Godfrey made the summit attempt and fell. If Godfrey fell, where is his body? That's what I'm trying to figure out. All indications from family and friends show that Godfrey was quite intelligent. Why would any intelligent person attempt a near suicidal attempt to climb Half Dome without ropes or cables? How could Godfrey even know the correct route of the summit without the cables? Who made the footprints and tracks? My statement to the National Park Service: people do not disappear. Where is Godfrey's body? Okay, well, despite um, des- despite the statement that David Paulides made, even though all of his statements are, very credible, you know, and it's true, people do not just disappear according to the logical thinking mind, but I am the type of person that likes to think outside the box and outside the realm of logical thinking, because it is clear that yeah, he probably made the summit, but somewhere along the line, he just vanished without a trace. Now they say he fell over the cliff and he made the climb, but I want to go back to a case that David Paulides actually read or talked about on Coast to Coast AM, where these three guys, our friends, like three or four friends, was climbing a mountain, and one guy was at the very bottom of the cable, as you know they were going up the mountain, and the guy just above him said that all of a sudden the rope just went limp, and then he looked back and he wasn't there. Now, of course, now most people would think that in certain movies you see them they on a rope and then they try to swing themselves towards an opening in the mountain where they could actually go into like a cave or something like that. But that wasn't the case. Now, think about this. If the rope went limp, they would have heard him screaming as he fell to his death. But that didn't happen. He just vanished without a trace. And see, no matter where you are, you could be in the air, you know, a couple of thousand feet up climbing a mountain, or you could be on the ground. But if you take your eyes off a person for a long period of time, sooner or later, obviously they vanish, or whatever it is that's taking these people, they take them. I'm thinking they're able to. This is what I said before. They're able to open up doorways to these different dimensions, anywhere, even like anywhere on land or even in the air, obviously, because they obviously use like some type of portal and open it up around him, and it swallowed him or closed around him, causing him to just vanish without a trace. Okay, but in this case right here, somewhere between point A and point B, he disappeared. Now, like I said, I am no stranger to the whole idea of dimensional portals to other Earths, you know, or other worlds. Now, something happened to this guy, okay, and the facts center around him just vanishing. Okay, yeah, he went. They say he may have made that climb and attempted the summit, but somewhere along the line, either he was climbing or before he got to the climb, he just vanished without a trace. Now they said they saw footprints above and below a certain area, but still, the footprints, they said that some of them look old and some of them may have been his, but there was no determined indication that those were his footprints. You know, there's thousands of people that walk these trails all the time, so it could be anybody's footprints. But at the same time, like I said, if he vanished without a trace and there's no body, obviously something took him somewhere else, and it's not here on Earth. It may have been on another. I mean, it may have been on Earth, but it was another Earth or another dimension or another planet. Somehow, some way, these people are being taken, and you know, without leaving any evidence whatsoever. You know, so that's the only thing I can think of. When all logic has failed and all facts has failed, and when you keep going through these facts, and I mean 411 facts per book, as well as all of the other cases throughout the centuries, there's no known indication that somebody is taking these people. It's not a human, because these people they take time out to create a scene for someone like us to find when they kidnap these people. Okay, they fold the clothes neatly and put them on a log and put the clothes on them, making you confused as to why would they even do that? Why would they take the time to do that and then kill someone? And then when they kill them, there's no sign of death on their body. Okay, they can't find any they can't find any source of the death. You know, it's weird. You know, and they leave all these clues behind, but they never leave enough clues to say, okay, I did it. Okay, you got bone fragments and one tooth that's lying on top of like pine straw instead of underneath it. Okay, like say pine straw falls in one spot and then it just covers it up. Simple, but it was laid on top of it purposely. All these things that people find in these areas where they find these dead bodies in dealing with these cases, these things are done purposely, and for whatever reason, obviously to confuse us, so that we'll try to figure it out, but there's no evidence or a link to say, okay, that's what did this. Okay, the people do not want to believe that it was something something done by a human. Because, like I said, humans are wired to leave evidence no matter what. It could be fabrics from your clothing. It could be a fingerprint somewhere where you weren't trying to leave a fingerprint on. It could be hair samples. It could be anything. It could be some dead skin from your body. You never know. You know, it could be blood, and that's the first thing they look for is blood, but they never find it. So they either being swallowed up, by this hole, by this dimensional wormhole, or something is devouring these people whole without leaving any evidence behind. They just come down on them on their head and just keep going until they just pick them up from the feet and just swallow them whole. That's what I'm thinking. There's some kind of creature that can swallow someone whole without leaving any evidence whatsoever. But the whole thing about them being naked or half naked, face down in a creek bed somewhere, or near a lake, or in the mountains, or leaning up against a log dead, and it's like, it's just, all of it is just completely weird. There's just so many implications to these cases, but no links to each one of them. They just happen sporadically all over the world, and it does create a pattern, but the pattern doesn't fit anything. You can't say it's a serial killer. You can't say it's a pedophile. You can't say it's a mass murderer or whatever. None of these apply to any of the evidence dealing with these cases. So when all else fails, all that stuff is pushed out of the way. What else do you have? The unknown. And if you are an avid searcher of the unknown, like as far as wormholes, aliens, UFOs, abductions, and if you know a lot about each one, then you can pretty much piece it together. But that goes beyond the realm of logical thinking, especially when it comes to the law enforcement. They're trained to find out about this stuff. But when you can't find out about it, you're never gonna figure it out. So, like I said, that's the reason why I have this page, where we can look at it in a much more broader sense as far as paranormal phenomena or the unknown or just random stuff that just makes sense out of all this, but doesn't have any evidence to back it up. But sometimes you don't really need evidence. You just need what's right there in front of you. Okay, like when a person is, found dead and there's no evidence on the body of, no evidence of death on the body, or no cause of death, and it's just a lifeless corpse. What else can you say? Okay, the body is bone dry in a wet area. There's no shoes. Okay, and even if they are shoes, the boots are missing, but the body is there. Why would they take the boots but leave the body? Okay, now going back to the part of a person being dead. I stated before about a man named Captain Randy Kramer who talked about soul extraction technologies that were given to the government by gray aliens. Now, he was talking about how they can extract your soul from your body and place it into a clone. Okay, maybe these people are guinea pigs and don't know it. They're taken, their soul is extracted and put into a clone, and then they just bring the bodies back without any evidence of what happened to it. That's the only thing I can think of. Either they're doing it, or some unknown creature, or some unknown person with some very crazy powers can suck your life out of your body or drain your energy and then leaving a lifeless corpse right there on the ground. They either need it for energy for themselves, or they need it to survive as far as food. Maybe it's a spirit drinker. Who knows? I don't know. But it's anybody's guess. But that's just part of the whole deal. So, in trying to figure this out. But yeah. But yeah, it's almost time for me to get up out of here. So, always imparting. Aloha, mahalo, and ahui ho. English guys, be blessed.